Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers, commentators, experts, and/or hosts. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the channel's policy or the views held by this channel or broadcaster. The broadcaster or its channel cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
It's just like Killer Cop 4, but she's got Hema instead of fry cook balls. I need you, Action Bastard. Action Bastard, I need you. Action Bastard, I need you. Why am I wasting time dancing?
You want to know why? Because the world is fucking flat, dog. And everything that you see up there, as far as like planets or stars, yeah, guess what, dude? It's fucking fake. It's just lights up there. The government put those lights up there so you dummies could just act like there's something up there.
Wait a second, are you a flat earther?
Call a crackhead.
You're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're stupid. Okay, so we're going to go as fast as possible to get to bring in our guests so they're not sitting backstage very much longer. So let's go ahead and bring in our lovely co-host, and that's everybody's.
But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
Yes, I guess you're right.
Yes, I guess you're right. She needed to say that with more. She needed to say that with more with a Kansas accent, because they were from Kansas and Adia. But anyways, let's crack on. Let's
because she isn't in Kansas anymore.
Well, okay. Well, yeah. As soon as you're not in Kansas, your Kansas-Adian accent fucking goes away. Totally. That's exactly how that happens. Totally.
Yeah.
All right, so let's bring in our doggo, and here is. And there's our doggo. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, mate. Looking forward to this one. And yeah, Dorothy isn't in anymore. She's in a crematorium.
They cremated her. What the? Huh?
Yeah, I believe she's got a little plaque with an urn behind it.
I thought we were talking about the Wicked Witch of the whoever fell under the house. And never mind. That's completely different. I have no idea what's going. Okay, shit. We have another person that just came in, and that is. Let's do this just right quick because let's bring in and we have a.
Yeah, where is it?
And there's an Al Trucker. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, Al.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
I didn't want to miss a chance to meet a snake charmer.
Yes, definitely. We're glad you're here and that you could make it, and that you're feeling a lot better, and that things are going better for you and stuff.
Things are. I mean, I'm still at home. They think another month, but yeah, it's getting better.
Talk.
Thank you.
You can actually talk.
I could talk, without losing my breath. Yeah,
it's
pretty good in that regard.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and bring in our guest. And I'm going to do this, even though I should have made an intro for them, but my brain slipped.
Introduce them as an MC, motherfucker.
An MC, sure. But let's go ahead and do this because we already did this for them.
To be fair. To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
And to be fair.
There
we go.
Oh, Jesus. It's only going to get worse.
You will stop saying that after a while, I promise you.
Yeah, if you ever come back on here, every time somebody says that, we play that, just like a handful of other things. So, how are you doing, Kat?
Pretty good.
Awesome. So, what we're going to do right quick, which we normally do, we're going to say hello to the side of my chats right quick. We're going to play a video of me doing a bunch of crazy, silly stuff while we're all on here. Then we'll get into the interim reviews. So we have our demon orb. So everybody say hello to our demon orb.
Demon.
Hey, Orby.
Hey, demon.
We have a tree.
Hey, last
Trees.
Hello.
And a Jasper.
Yo, Jasper.
We have a newbie. Carol.
That's my mama. Well, I
figured
as my mama.
Yeah, I figured that they were part of your crew.
There's a mama and a mother. Okay, well, we gotta behave, guys.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
Let's see
Let's not fucking cuss now.
Extinguish your smoking material.
All right, so welcome,
Carol,
Mama.
I'd just like to say that your daughter isn't hot, and I do not want to have sex with her.
Yes, no, that's not a thing at all.
Thanks for pointing that out, dog.
That's not a...
that was great.
Yes,
Must be a gentleman.
And we have a West Side girl. Welcome, West Side.
Hey, West Side.
East Side is the best.
No. The West Coast is the best coast. So
I'm
that's
talking
all
about
I gotta say.
We don't have a
West Side is the best.
We've got East Side.
Well, I was gonna say in the Britons, you guys don't really have either or because you're just a small ass island, so you just have.
Oh yeah. Britain should be painted fucking beige on the map, shouldn't it? Really?
Exactly, because it's just a round thing, right? I mean,
Yeah,
right? It's just that big. It's just that
fucking rains all the time. Fuck you.
Our coast is bigger than all of y'all's coastuses.
Yeah, Canada has the biggest coasts.
We got 3 of them.
True. Yeah, and they're huge.
Yep.
Anyways, don't I'm gonna start getting wet and start drooling over here.
Our ass is big and white.
Are up there, and
you can't pretend we're Liza Minnelli.
No, big ass white asses. Exactly.
Can I just say that when you say huge, and that's like what this is the accent of where I live at the moment. So local. I'm not from here, but I live on the east coast of England, and they use words like huge, computer.
Yeah,
they don't use you as it should be fucking used.
I know. Yeah, totally. And I'm always making fun of Andrew Twat whenever I'm doing that. I'm making fun of. Do you know who? Hey, Kat, do you know who Andrew Tate is?
I have made it a point to know as little as possible.
Okay,
you are lucky.
Good. I'm glad that you don't. Yeah. Unfortunately, if you followed this channel, which all of the other side chat has, except for Mama, we unfortunately go over him. So remember when you asked me
so now.
Remember when we were hanging out, Kat, and you asked me where are you from because of my accent? That's the fake. Yeah, that's the fake accent that I'll be using throughout this as well, and that's what it is. I'm making fun of Andrew Tate with that accent, and I will go into my southern accents as well for sure, obviously, because we do that. But let's crack on with this, and let's all watch this together. And this is my old promo video from when I used to do fetish events and stuff, which I'm hoping to delve back into. But we
gotta fucking do that again.
Yes. That's why I'm playing this because yes. So here is my old
this guy girl reacts.
It's my old film reel. Let me do this right quick. You need to be under me. Sorry, Brainless, you're gonna be under Cat, and then you guys can be
that's okay.
I'm always
organized.
I don't mind being at the bottom. It makes me more of a stream perv. Yeah.
Is that how it works?
Don't worry, I will not look up your skirt.
You are our dog. So, anyways, let's crack on.
I'm not getting into that.
While I was in Montana, Adam Crack Winrich asked me if I could do the blockhead, and I said no, my sinuses don't have the right shape, but you got to watch Slim do it. He's got a bunch of videos, and he goes,
Slim has no sinuses.
Not
anymore. His brain. There's just a hole in his skull where no brain exists. So you can just push anything up there.
Yeah, that is obviously
a Buick.
Go, okay, dog. Yeah. Sit. Shut up, dog. Sit. All right, go ahead, Cat.
I told him, oh yeah, just try it out. Just get one of those little 10-penny nails and stick it in there. And when you actually touch your sinus, you know how far in you can go. And he was like, he was not comforted by that concept.
No, one of the other things is with the Blockhead Act, usually one sinus does not work comparatively to the other. There's very, very rare people that can actually do the blockhead in both sides of their nasal passages. It's very, very interesting. Yeah. If you will notice and you will ask or you'll talk to or you'll just look at photos or videos of blockheads, they will prefer one side. And usually that's just because they can't do it at the other side. There's no way I can do anything on the left side of my fucking nostril. The right side fucking lets me do it all fucking day long. Left, nope. And I talked to a bunch of people, and then like that was in some Sideshow artist said that. It was like somebody who had taught like 100 people, and they were like, they're literally, it's only one-sided. So you just have to find the side that people can use and go from there. But what we normally do, and I'm going to tell the basics of this.
I had the sinus operation.
We usually wet a Q-tip and then you will check either side. But you do usually have to have somebody helping you directionalize it. But
okay,
I had a sinus operation once because I snored, and this was meant to prevent. It didn't work, but I remember after the operation pulling the bandages out my nose. It was like a magician, you know, when they pull them scarves out their sleeves. I actually thought my head was empty, and since I've been on this show, I believe that to be true.
Well, see, the thing is that what people don't realize, your sinus cavities are fucking huge, and you have two of them. One that goes straight back in your throat, and one that goes up around your eyeball and then back into your head. And the one that we manipulate. So that's why you have to figure out
which is which?
Well, no, the reason why you only manipulate one of those cavities. Just the problem is your sinuses in your nose are not actually straight. Us humans, or you humans, want to believe that we're symmetrical, but technically we're not symmetrical at all. Like one shoulder is usually taller than the other. One hip, one foot's bigger, and your hand, boobs.
Can you stop pointing out my flaws here, Slim?
Yeah, I'm sorry. But no, boobs are an amazing representation of that, because if you ask most women, they will tell you they are not symmetrical per se. Like if they could get a bra where one was 36D and the other one was 34 or 32, it would be way better. And that's why a lot of times now people get
symmetrical people
blah, 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 blah.
Symmetrical people become models.
None of that makes any sense.
The thing is we look very symmetrical, but when you actually measure the human body, then that's when you realize the small differences. But
when I'm naked, I look like a stack of pancakes.
I know, and please don't show me that picture again, dog. God, please don't send me that.
Slim's trying to unload that one from the memory back there.
Dude, I have to look at the Shanny fucking videos to get that out of my head.
You remember he's a cyborg, so the memory never runs out.
Plain brainless to that. And he's insistent fucking link.
We've got a decent person in here.
I know.
I'm not going to share that link.
The problem is
no.
Yet.
Everybody noticed Dave showed up.
Let's go.
Yes.
Yep. And hold on. We have Stop the Stupidity. Everybody say hello to the Stupidity.
Hey, stupidity.
Oh, hey, Stupidity.
And Dave's here.
We have a desk. Our Dave as well. So everybody, we have most of the crew almost here. So if you have not figured this out yet, Kat, we fucking get distracted like a motherfucker, and we literally never actually stay on subject. We sit here and talk about silly crap for a while. But
it's not the reason that I have
a 5-minute video and never get through it ever.
Exactly. So now that we have,
can I ask? Can you give a spanner to a wrench to Carol?
I was going to do that in a second. Hopefully they stick around and hopefully you subscribe to the channel. We're going to give you a wrench. So that means that you can say whatever you want in the Sideshow chats, and we don't have to review whatever you say. So that's why we're going to do that.
Certain things.
Yeah, and so
like pretty much everything I say needs
and
review.
we like everybody to be blue here, because if you're blue and you don't know where to go to, putting on the Ritz. I don't know. I always say that for no reason. Anyways, so let's crack on. So you're going to now become blue because I'm a dumbass executive.
I can come up with really, really terrible lyrics to go with that would involve bodily fluids. So
is it a blue bodily fluid? Because now I'm into.
No, that's one of my mottos. Slim is never drink anything blue.
Oh well, then I mean I can understand that, but I like blue Powerade.
But I was gonna try to cure a blue disease by giving something a spritz or something. I my brain works in mysterious ways.
Have you all seen Jonathan the Wonderful? Is that what his name is? Where he drinks the bottle of Windex and he goes, "Keeps me from streaking."
Yes.
Oh, that's a good one. I don't recommend actually drinking the Windex, but
no,
if you're going to drink something blue, make sure it's not blue Caraco.
I have to put it in another port so that my eyes, when I blink, they clean off in the rain. So I mean, I still have to use the Windex. It's just in a different place, and we'll talk about that later. That's another stream. That's another. Well, and same with that one. Jesus Christ! Now we're gonna get into how much oil I have to put in and all that stuff. Jesus, that could be another hour.
No one wants to hear about your lube, Slim.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Let's get on to.
Slim doesn't use lube.
Yeah, the amazing Jonathan. I had it backwards.
Now he does have something in common with what's the other guy? It was Andrew Tate and the guy with the dry wife. Or are they the same person?
Ben Shapiro. I wrote a song about him that I'm not allowed to share because it's too rude.
Why can't we share the Ben Shapiro song?
Guys, my wife is a great fucking term.
Hold on, guys. If my wife ever got WAP, that would be a medical condition, and she would need to go to the hospital, even though she is a doctor. Literally, that's what he pretty much said. He literally pretty much said that in a thing. Like, oh my god, it was so fucking horrible. I hate Ben Shapiro Dark so much.
It almost makes me feel compassion for him.
Almost. My favorite thing is where he's like, these people don't act like men, but I am a man because I can barely grow this beard on my face, which is probably half fake anyways. Okay, all right. Now that we went through
like I've seen the theater spray on. It works wonders.
No, he probably has that done. Like his fucking called? Wardrobe artist or
look whose gyroscopes just showed up.
Yes. Our Bob Nodell's gyroscope showed up. Welcome, gyroscope.
Thanks, Bob.
And
Thanks, Bob.
everybody say thank you, Bob. 15 per hour. 15 degrees per hour. Everybody say thank you, Bob, and RIP Bob. Everybody put hashtag RIP Bob in the Sideshow chats because we love you, Bob. So, but thank you for all the. It's a flat earther that bought a gyroscope and he used it and proved that the Earth's a globe because it drift 15 degrees per hour drift happens. And never mind, it's a long. Anyways, so now let's get into actually interviewing our guests because we've sat here for
Slim. We're on stream. We're not getting into the. No.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. Anyways, all right. So, anyways,
I have the first question.
Go for it.
Kat, these snakes you charm, do you actually charm them, or you befriended them from when they were worms or wherever they were? Baby
how
snakes.
did you get your snakes, and how long have you had them in? Tell us about the two lovely ladies, right?
Can you explain to Dog that worms are not baby snakes?
I know. I know. Baby snakes. That's why I changed it to baby snakes, Al.
Okay.
And then really quick. Hey, Tubian, and then go ahead and please answer that, Kat.
How did I get them? So Neither of these stories is nice. So I went to school for wildlife biology, and I always liked having pets, but my parents and household and childhood were such that a lot of pets were not really an option. So then I started working the pet trade, and that's exactly how I phrase it when you work for something like PetSmart. So I ended up with a lot of animals that people would abandon, either at the store or on my doorstep or what have you. And I don't like that that's been a theme throughout my life. Yeah, as charming as
You're
it
a
is,
savior. You're a savior for these animals. So it sucks how you got them, but it is awesome that
no,
you
and it's
did these
charming that
things
people
for
decide
saving
that,
them.
like, oh, it's safe to leave them with me. Like, that's wonderful. But like, dudes, come on. Do not do that to people. So the first one I got, long before I ever ran away to the circus, I'm 37. I was 18, and I had a roommate that was in the military, and they moved out, and I didn't think to check their room for like a week. And a week later, I opened the door, and there's one snake in the tank with the cabinet, and that was it. And so I don't know how long it had been since it had been fed, anything. So I started feeding it, and that's how I got Nog. Nog is the ball python. Nog was probably, okay, so I remember this I think I was probably 15 when Nog was born, and I was probably 21 when Zool was born. So Nog is now 22, and Zool is 16. So that was Nog. Zool, I answered the sketchiest Craigslist ad on the planet.
Okay.
Okay, so I was living in, so Google this if you don't know where these places are, because holy ever loving shit, it is forever to like, I gotta drive over 2 mountain passes to go fetch this snake. I drove from the San Luis Valley to, I drove to Colorado Springs, which is a city full of military bases.
Yes.
Like there's one
It's
of every
mainly an
flavor.
Air Force. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, it's mainly an Air Force base or near it. It's Fort Morgan. Is that what it is? It's Fort Morgan that's right next to it.
Fort Carson is the
Yeah,
Army.
Carson. That's it. Okay.
Fort Peterson is the Air Force base. And
Yeah.
as an aside, what kind of person runs away to join the circus? The sort of person whose father was Deputy Base Chief of Engineering.
Yeah, that or a pastor. But same difference.
Bingo.
Yeah, totally.
So these are the kind of people and the kind of places that form this person. So on that note, answering a sketchy Craigslist ad, like, there are sketchy people adjacent to the military, but they are also in the military. So I knock on the door at this house, and the woman who answers the door has 4 young children under the age of 5, and her house is empty of furniture. It echoes. It's spotless. She's heavyset. All her children look great. They're friendly. They're well-mannered. They're healthy. All of her animals, plural. She has a shelf system of snakes down one wall. As you went around the corner, it was like one of those split level houses built in the 60s. So as you went around the corner, there's nothing but birds in the kitchen. In the sunken living room,
In the kitchen.
The windows, they need the light. The same way that snakes do. Birds, serpents, all that stuff, they're iridescent. The iridescence is a result of the structure of their feather or their scale.
So was this just a house that she had all the animals in, and they lived somewhere else? They've actually with no.
This is how I knew. No furniture.
Go ahead.
But when you look down into the sunken living room, split level house, sunken living room is nothing but a like little kid ball pit. Everything, all the little kid things, the couch, all of it is in this sunken living room. So the entirety of the upstairs was used for like her animal breeding. I could hear dogs somewhere in the house. So like I'm also assuming puppy mill, but
yeah, totally.
but it's clean and it doesn't stink. Okay. So she tells me that she doesn't want the snake anymore because she is breeding the ball pythons and she doesn't want to wait for the boa to get large enough to breed because the boa would have to be like 8 feet long before she's old enough to breed.
Yeah.
So I paid $60 for this snake. She's showing me the snake. I am holding the snake. I look down at my pockets to pull my money out, and I realize that her scrawny husband with a questionable number of teeth, wearing half of a military uniform, he may not have been in the military, I don't know, but there are signs. Wearing half a uniform, shows up, takes my $60, and is gone before I manage to get out the door with the snake I just bought.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
Off to the
one
bar.
of the, a lot of times drug addicts will wear military style clothing because if you go to the army surplus stores where they get all their guns and things, those clothing items are like hella fucking cheap and they last forever because they're made for military use. I used to wear, because I was a fucking weirdo, I used to wear a military jacket over a hoodie because I was doing way too much drugs. Yeah, and so you definitely bought something from a meth head, probably. And that, yes, that's what I was getting at. So thank you.
I was betting on meth head.
Yeah.
But they were real close to the base, so I wondered whether or not it was housing. Who knows? That was 12 years ago.
A lot of people in the services use a lot of drugs and they just know how to not get caught. How do I know that? Because I ran a club in Tijuana, Mexico with 3 people in the services. I married a Marine and
I didn't hear that part of this story. This is the good part.
What, that I married a Marine?
Okay, yeah, come on, keep going. Just the rest
son
of it.
of a beast thing. All right, well, when I had a club in Tijuana, Mexico,
yeah, you do, Bob.
One of my friends who was in the service, she was a Marine. She was supposed to marry this dude for money, so that she could make more money. And he bowed out. And she's like, well, Slim, you're the next in line, so come on. And so we got married for money just so she could make more money. And she paid me $1,200 a month to be married to her for like a year. And then she went to Okinawa and got pregnant by another dude and sent me the annulment papers. So we got it annulled. And then I wasn't getting paid $1,200 a month anymore, which is okay with me. That's fine because I didn't even understand the concept. I was like, what the fuck anyways?
Isn't it like just so stupid and actually wrong? Like, oh, you get paid more if you're married.
Yeah.
The military, the United States military still has a lot of basically really Christian values. Because think about it, when you're a military member, if you have a wife and child, the military is beholden to housing them.
Yeah.
So you can't be having mistresses. We don't have enough housing for that shit.
Yeah, goddamn that we don't have enough money for the whorehouses on the military bases anymore.
No, that's logical. But like, why would you need to get paid more for the same job just because you're married?
So you can get that, and because you
still
can get a house.
Same job.
Hold on.
I agree.
It's so instead of being an apartment, you can get a house to rent or try to buy a house and then make a family. They really want you to make a family, and so that is.
But you're still doing the same fucking job.
I know. No, I get you. My hands are up. I'm on the same page as you. Hey, Ollieman. Welcome, Ollieman.
Hey, Ollie.
Anyways, let's crack on. So, what was the first performances thingy-mabobbers that you ever did in public? Or when was the first time you started, like, practicing? Or what was the first act that you were like, I'm going to jump on stage or I'm going to do this to present myself to the public. Let's put it that way.
Like as a, okay, so, like the very first time I performed, or like the first time I jumped on as a sideshow?
What was the first thing you were practicing for that you were going to put yourself in the public's eye? Because, you know, we a lot of us, we sit behind closed doors and we like sing to the Rolling Stones, pretend that we're rock stars and stuff. But what was the first thing you actually practiced to put yourself in front of the public? The first like performance.
When I was, I used to sing in the car when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And my mother signed me up for a talent show when I was 10. And so I did that. Like I sang for the talent show and shit.
Okay.
When
was that at school? Was that at school or okay?
That
So
was-
at school you
that
did
was
the
a
talent
public
show.
school in Pueblo, in Colorado, and so
I'm sorry you were in Pueblo, but anyways, crack on.
I grew up in Pueblo. It's
I'm
like
sorry. I'm so sorry you grew up in Pueblo, but anyways, let's crack
love
on.
that place. Now, make no mistake, I am a self-imposed exile, and I would go home in a heartbeat if I were not afraid that husband would die of heat stroke.
Sure. Well, yeah, no, the reason it's called Pueblo is because of the freaking mud structures they made there back in the day. Because it was so hot, they could just put mud up, and it dried so hard they had structures that were made from it. Anyways, crack on. All right, so when was the first time you professionally performed, or what was the first thing that you did to start?
So I got into, so this one's kind of long only because there were several things that led up to it. When I was 14, I was in the car with my mom, and I had reached the full of my height, but I was probably 40 pounds heavier. And my mother says to me, you have a voluptuous body, which is a rather backhanded compliment from my mother.
Of course.
She says, you could be a belly dancer. Fast forward 5 years, 6 years. I was 20. And I tell this story to my husband one day, because we've been together since I was like 19.
Yeah.
So I tell this story to husband one day, and husband looks at me and he goes, why not? And at the time I was probably, I'd lost weight since I'd graduated from high school. So I was probably like 185 pounds. So I was wearing the largest size that Walmart had to offer for women, which at the time was like a 24. And I had boobs that were each the size of my head. And I was trying to find a way to not hate myself. So I started dancing with a studio in Pueblo called Connie's.
Good luck with that.
What's that?
Good luck with that.
Oh my God. So yeah, that was a long road, totally. But so that's when I started dancing. And I danced with that studio until Joe and I moved to Missoula, Montana. And Missoula, Montana was a mecca for belly dancers, and I didn't know it. And that's where I met Carol. And so I had only performed on stage for recitals. And so I had performed like twice for these recitals as a belly dancer. And when I met Carol, I hunted all over town for someone that was teaching a dance class. And there was another woman in town who taught cabaret. I know that that's not an important distinction, but
the more styles that you learn, the better it is for all of the things. Like I learned jazz and blah 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 dancing, and the mixture of them makes it so that you're better. So no, I totally. So keep going. Sorry.
So I go hunt for the cabaret teacher, and the cabaret teacher tells me, no. I only teach like 6-week startup courses as a continuing education class for the college. So you need to go find Carol. And I was like, who is that? And she says, that one, and points to a tent across the market that looks like something out of a souk. And that was the first
Will
time.
you explain a souk just a tiny bit? Because I know what that is, but
A souk is an open air Arab marketplace.
there we go. No, keep going now.
So her tent is draped with all the fabrics and it's got all the shiny shit hanging off of it. It jingles in the wind.
Yep, totally. I know it.
Yeah, and I walk up and there's Carol and I want to say her friend Jean. And so Carol looks at this time kind of like Snow White as a cougar, but dressed
Nice.
as Esmeralda. So she's pale, she's got black hair, she's got the bluest eyeballs I have ever seen, and she's wearing bright red lipstick and a turban. She's in full costume, and so is her friend. And I am in love. Because I've only seen pictures of people like this on the internet.
Yep.
And I think I want to be that. If she's still in this chat, I fucking love you. So
Thank you, Carol.
Yeah,
that I cannot live without. So I started dancing with those girls who did a different style. They did like I would call it American tribal fusion.
Can we stop for just a second? Carol says you're making her weep. So thank you very much, Carol. You're amazing.
Proud of Carol's blue wrench as well.
Oh, I love it.
And she says I love you. So yeah. So okay, let's crack on.
Okay, so I haven't seen Carol in like 7 years. Point being, I thought, oh my God, this is so cool. This is what I want to do. So I start dancing with those girls, and Carol had the market tent, like it was the end of the season because we had just moved there. I just started college. So it's like September, or October. It's this time of year. Yep. And so I danced with those girls over the winter, and I learned their style, which is wildly different from anything else I had done before that, which was great. And each dancer that I had a different background. So my background now is wildly varied.
Awesome.
So then we started doing street performance. I would babysit the tent for Carol. She worked for Montana. She worked for MTDOT. So she was like running heavy equipment, building highways. And we ran the market tent on Saturday. So we were street performers for like the 2 or 3 years that I was in college there.
So was it more like roving, or was it like in front of the tent, or did you get stage time?
So I set up the tent. And it was much more like Renaissance festivals do, where like each vendor or tent.
Like the Carney.
Yeah.
So the tent is where you performed in or under?
Right.
Okay,
So
I get what you're saying now. Okay, so it's more like old school carnival style. Okay, yeah.
Exactly. And it was one tent had all the merchandise and the other tent had all the dancers. And the rule was you couldn't leave the rug empty. So boy howdy, have I done 10,000 hours. So then
I know all about that too.
College. Yeah. And so I leave college and we move back to the San Luis Valley because that's where my mother-in-law is from. And she had a bunch of friends there, and one of the family friends says, will you caretake this piece of property? Okay. The 3 months before we move back, I run away to join the circus for the first time. Me and one of the other belly dancers in that crew at the time, Jillian, did it was the Bellatrix Circus. So it was like a one-time production. And there were just an obscene number of people in that show. I don't know if anybody got paid. There wasn't enough money to do anything. The winery told us that we were never allowed to come back because they couldn't get the glitter out of the carpet.
I know all about the glitter thing. I've gotten in trouble for glitter so many times, and I was not the one who did it. It was other people, but since I was like in charge, then I got in trouble for the goddamn motherfucking glitter. And I still have glitter that is coming out of my hair still. I still literally have glitter coming out of my hair, and I have not worked with glitter in fucking like 5 years or some bullshit.
Then you need to wash your hair, you dumbass.
No, well,
I'm totally going to say this. one of the guys from Alterna Circ at the Billings Renaissance Festival brought up the fact that glitter was a sin. So the next day, this bitch puts on glitter and then hugs everybody because I could.
We started having venues we started having venues that were putting in their what you could not do was glitter and sparkles and a couple other things. They were like, no, you motherfuckers cannot do this anymore.
Can't be bringing the shit in my house.
Yeah, no, I don't want it around me anymore because it is definitely stripper herpes for sure.
And Carol lost sound for a second, and we're all saying
no.
you pooped out an amazing daughter. That's all we were going on about. If you missed
that. All right. Yes. Anyways, go ahead and then tell us
the rest of that story is so I ran away to the Bellatrix Circus.
Yes.
I did that show. That was great. Finished school. Great. Came home. Great. Bored. San Luis Valley. Okay. The Dalai Lama says if there's a Tibet in the United States, this is it. Well, guess what that means in terms of rural, low-income community. The vast majority of the San Luis Valley relies on potato production.
Or Trumpism.
For its income.
And how many peoples is in the place that surrounds you?
So I'm closest to the city of Alamosa, which is about 10,000 people. That's where the Walmart in the valley is.
I've been there.
The next closest, this is how we judge distance. The next closest Walmart is either over Poncha Pass to the north, which is like 2 hours from Alamosa.
Yeah.
Or over Levita Pass through Walsenburg to Trinidad or Pueblo, which is like 3 hours.
Are those thingy-mabobbers that you can go over in the winters?
Levita is not so bad now because global weirding, it doesn't snow enough to really matter.
Oh, okay, but
each pass is about 10,000 feet. So for the most part in the winter, like after I see you, after I see you at the end of October, I am not going anywhere until mid-March. Not happening.
Did you hear how nonchalant she said 10,000 feet? All of you British people out there, all other people in other places in the world, because to us, we're used to these high mountains and these high places.
We have our carnies here. We have our carnival people here. I live in a small town, and bank holidays, I think you call it. You have different holidays, like Black Monday and whatever. Labor and Day. I don't know what you Americans call your holidays.
Okay, but what elevation?
Holidays. We have travelers. We call them
what elevation do you live at, Dom?
They build up a fair.
He gets distracted.
And we come there, and we don't, and then people rest in the winter as well. They rest in the winter.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Now okay. So, what elevation do you live at, Brainless?
I live at I'm nice to Americans.
Thank you for telling us feet.
Freedom units.
Thank you.
I'm 39 foot above sea level.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't do metric.
Yeah,
I know
Dog is way less than 1,000 feet above sea level. There's no way that he is further than
we
that.
use windmills. Norfolk is full of windmills. We use
He's probably 100 feet. 100 feet.
Okay. Gonna display my ignorance. Does Britain even have mountains?
Yes.
Well, depends on your definition.
They consider them mountains.
You walk up them. In a day and walk down them, man.
Exactly. Wow. So they're like a couple thousand. They're like a couple thousand feet tall or something like that.
Okay.
But
Okay. Never so 10,000 feet high. That's a fair.
Oh, sorry, 10,000. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's more than a bump.
Okay,
here we have one mountain.
I have a metric measurement.
Okay, hold on.
I live
run
at 360 meters above sea level.
He put in the goddamn meters, so like
360.
Okay, well, so that's
You could multiply it. You could multiply it by roughly 3.
It's a
3,000.
So it's around 1,000 feet.
I was gonna say that's what I just said was 1,000.
Norfolk is
anyways,
very
let's crack on. All right, let's crack on. So, what was the next gig? What was the next giggy bobber that you did, or when did
when
you?
I
What was the
actually
next thing?
joined the sideshow, and bam, no, I'm a snake charmer. I
Yeah,
respond
totally.
to a newspaper advertisement of all things, because in the Valley, we didn't have regular internet access until COVID. Think about that.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have newspapers, and I respond to a newspaper advertisement that says we need circus art for a fundraiser, 15% back to the artist. Okay. So I drove to Salida, and that was when I met the Salida Circus.
Okay,
And
just pause right quick. Brainless, fucking go ahead.
Let me turn my sound down.
Just wait. This is a thing that has to happen. Hold on, just stop.
Paying attention.
Skitsy!
There we go. Okay. Our channel sponsor, our channel sponsor just showed up, and so here we go. Here is Schizophrenia. Welcome, good afternoon to you as well. And now we're gonna have to do this, and we have a commercial for them. So just wait, and we'll do this like we always have to do, because they support all of our local communities that are the Stream Pervs and much more.
Yeah, we're so local. We're so local.
So let's crack on with it. So
this is creating community.
Exactly, somebody. So here
it's
you
not
go.
local.
Just watch this, cat. And there is our channel sponsors promo. So thank you very much, and welcome, Schizomacrasher. Thank you for being here.
I don't
Did
know
you get
if
to
you
see
made,
that?
it may have gone black for you.
It
Well,
gave me a
watch it later.
flash. Oh well.
Yeah,
It'll be
no,
fine.
watch it later. Anyways, so
Yeah.
let's crack on. Go ahead and then let us know once you joined the Salida Circus.
So I joined the Salida Circus, and at the time, there was a dude in the circus. His name was Paul Jensen, and he had just gotten back from the Tattoo and Sideshow convention at Coney Island. He and his wife used to do sideshow stuff together, and I don't remember why his wife didn't do it anymore. So he then says to me, because so previously Salida Circus was run by a gal who, like, the focus is community after school programs and all that good stuff. So what I do was a little too saucy, and they said, here, meet Paul. And Paul just learned to swallow a sword from Todd Robbins.
Yep.
And he and Todd Robbins and somebody else sat around, got drunk in their hotel room one night, and that's what they did. And so Paul says to me, learn how to swallow a sword, and I fucking chickened out, and it is my greatest regret in life. So he looks at me and he goes, why don't you get a snake? And I went, huh. And I hadn't really thought about it, because by this time I had given Nog to someone else. So he says, oh, you should get a snake. And so then he shows me this video of another sideshow. I can't remember the name of it, but the name of the video is Watch Me Take It in the Face. And this girl goes out on stage.
Everybody go and look that up. Go ahead.
Yeah. So good luck finding it. But so it's a sideshow, and it was like Jackrabbit or something. Anyway, she has a Burmese python that is gotta be 10 feet long. It's huge. It's as big around as her thigh. And she
That's
goes out
what
on
you said. Anyways, okay, keep going. I'm sorry. Okay,
she
keep
goes
going.
out on stage with this snake and it nails her. And I was like, holy ever loving shit.
Okay.
I'm in. And Paul was like, okay. So that's how I got the snake. And so I want to say that one of the very first gigs I went out on with the circus was where I met you.
What, you met me? Oh my Jesus!
Yeah,
Nuh-uh,
like
nuh-uh.
I had
I
that.
don't believe you met me.
I had that. Okay, so as the circus,
Yeah.
yes. When I was just out with Paul because he was the Salida Circus Sideshow.
Yep. No, I
So
remember.
I went out with Paul, and like my timeline is bad. So I went out with Paul and did like I ran away to that circus because we were doing the 5th anniversary show for Salida Circus. So
Yeah.
that one we did like a daytime show under the band shell at Riverside Park in Salida, and then we went to the State Highway Theater,
Yeah.
and Paul, one other gal, and I did an evening show there, and Paul and I hung out for the evening, and like he just he had an ice pick that he
Mm-hmm.
would use for his blockhead bit,
Yeah.
and we only ran around together for like a year. And
Okay.
then he stopped performing and I just kept going because by that time he had taught me to do the glass walk.
Yep.
I had done the bowling ball drop with him, and the block break, but he wasn't performing with us anymore. And it was like, well, this is what I have. And I used to do like the clothespin trick and stuff like that, but it's one of those things that, like your fetish stuff, I just kind of stopped doing because it wasn't the right audience,
Yeah.
whatever.
I only clothespin my face and slap them off like at certain shows and things. But again, that's not. I'm not doing the fetish the thingy bobbers. We used to put like the cord under the clothespins around the body in different patterns, and then we get them pulled off and stuff. You can't really do that in front of a bunch of little kids because you're going to give them way ideas that like, and the promoters don't want that to happen anyways. But
yeah.
totally.
So there I am going, okay.
Yeah.
So now the line I give when I get out on stage is, don't worry, folks, all the good stuff costs extra.
Yeah. Well, that's why one of my jokes at that one point in time where I get out the knife, which is the third thing that I'm talking about on stage. I'm like, do you guys want to see what delicate part of my body I'm going to shove this inside of? And I'm like, okay. And I walk to the back of the stage, turn around and flip up my jacket. And then I turn around. No. That's later. That's the adult show. If you have if you're over 21 with a valid ID and a credit card, we'll talk later about the after party. And then
the credit card.
And well, of course, you have to say that because that makes it even like the that tips it completely as a joke. Is saying the valid ID and a credit card, you know. Anyways, so crack on.
But yeah, that was so that I just kept on going after that.
And then when did you meet me? When did you meet me?
I met you that season. Like
where were we at?
It was a gig for they were doing a race across Denver.
Yes.
And I showed up. I showed up.
Where? Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
They were doing like a foot race across Denver. I don't remember who the promoter was. I don't remember.
That doesn't matter. Yeah.
Of the event. But you and I were at like a tennis court or something.
Yeah, no, we were on a tennis court. So really quick, can I just fill in a little bit of the blanks really quick? So we were hired to perform at a, like she was saying, a foot race. You could not get on a bus, take a taxi, or use any type of vehicle other than bicycles, right? There's bicycles and foot people, right?
I remember
Am
that
I
they were on
remem-
foot.
Okay, maybe they were only on foot, but that one of the stops was it was a treasure hunt technically. So what it
Yeah.
was is they gave you clues to get to certain places, and then you had to go to a certain place and you had to achieve a goal.
Yeah.
So when they got
Okay.
to our section,
I remember
you
that.
either had to hold the snake,
Right.
walk on glass, which is my thing, and then Cats was hold the snake. I was the walking on glass, and the other thing was like
you had the bed of nails.
Well, I had that there, and I was showing that, but I
don't remember.
did
Yeah,
somebody-
I just remember that you
no,
had it.
no, wait. Did I have to have people lay on the bed of nails? I had to have people lay on the bed of nails for 60 seconds, right?
I
Is that what it
remember
was?
that.
Oh, that's what it was. So
Yeah.
sorry, no, it
That's
was
okay.
either it
Such
was
is memory.
either yeah, no, it was either you had to hold the snake for 60 seconds or something like that, or you
Yeah.
had to lay on the bed of nails, or it was I want to say it was to
There was a third option.
yeah, it was to bounce on what's the thingy bobber that's called
Probably
that you
jump off a rooftop by the sounds of the
no,
other two.
no, but it
Oh,
was
it's a rollabola.
yeah, it was it was that or something like that. And so you had and what it was the one person in each team had to achieve one of those goals, and then they got to go to the next section. So every place they went, they had to like do a weird thing too. And so it was amazing to see how many people were scared of the snake that were human adults comparatively to laying on a bed of nails. People were like, lay on a bed of nails or hold a snake for 60 seconds. They're like, can I lay on the bed of nails? And we had them say the alphabet from Z to A. And they were drunk, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what it was? Right?
Slim, shut the fuck up, because I'll pick a bed of nails before a note broke.
And so for the most part, does
Jenny,
everyone
that's
else?
the first time Brain
Yeah.
of Steel has said for you to shut the fuck up and not me.
Yeah, and you know what was amazing was what was one of the first things that happened when we met, Kat. That snake was in my arms, and I had it around me, and I was petting her. Right? It's a her, right? Yeah, and we were already like, I was like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing because of
But you're already used to a big snake.
Well, yeah, I mean, anyways, let's crack on. So let's what was the next
throw it in.
adventure? Well, he always throws that in every chance he gets. Anyways, just because I send him those photos. Anyways, let's crack on. What was the next thing that you learned? Okay, so explain a lot of us know the breaking a cinder block on the chest while laying on a bed of nails. Yeah, and then he's going to show that video, of course. That's what happened live on stream. Jesus. Anyways. It's what happens when I get drunk. Anyways, so explain the bowling ball plate drop act. Not like how it, but what it is, and like let us know that
how it works?
And yeah, well, what it is
so
and
what
die? Sure. Well, I mean, you don't give away the secrets, obviously, because that's what you do.
No.
But
it's
let
the
us
internet
know.
age. It's not a secret.
Well, let us know the act, and then divulge as much information if you want to give off of that.
So, okay. Obligatory, don't try this at home. Please note the disclaimer at the beginning of the video. Here's how it's done. When I learned this one, and there are things that Paul didn't tell me that I learned the hard way.
Which we all do, unfortunately, because not all of our masters told us all of the information we were supposed to be told. Like, I didn't know I needed a breakable blah, 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 or this type of ceramic or something, right? You know what I'm saying? Anyways,
everyone that knows about snakes knows that boa constrictors
So I am the
Basically,
only. So
okay.
the snake knowledge is kind of separate from the. But okay, we'll come back to that.
But go ahead.
Um,
No, just go ahead to what you were saying.
So bowling ball. Bowling ball is. I was taught that one. Paul didn't actually necessarily teach me how to do it beyond. This is how you do it for me as my assistant. So
He didn't tell you weight. He didn't tell you weight. He didn't tell you which ceramic. He didn't tell you which plates. How he didn't tell you what things go in between and what you're supposed to lay on and all. Right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's crack on.
Not a damn thing.
And you know that I understand exactly because I said the right things, right? Anyways, let's crack on. You explained it to us after.
Important points.
Yeah.
Okay, so when he taught me to do this, he lied down on the bed of nails, and we ultimately dropped the bowling ball because I did not at the time have the reliable upper body strength to wield that fucking sledgehammer.
Sure, no, totally, I understand that.
He had like a 15-pound sledge,
You
and
could get a 9, but yeah, no, I get you.
right, like, okay, I'm not a weakling, but for fuck's sake, because now I think that axe is like 8 pounds. It's not that fucking heavy.
No, I know, yeah.
So I couldn't wield the sledgehammer, and he was like, okay, we'll do the bowling ball instead. And I could straight arm an 8 or 9 pound ball. So the key for this piece is that the ball must reach terminal velocity in order to break the plate. The ball falls, hits the plate absorbs all of the shock for the most part, and breaks. And
that's
all of that, yeah, same as the block.
That's exactly like the cinder block. When you're like the best way for me, I literally would get the sledgehammer to here and let it drop, and then by the time it hit Woody McHaggis's belly, or the cinder block on his belly, then it would get to that terminal velocity, and then also you buy shitty ass fucking cinder blocks, like the cheapest ones you could buy, so that they break apart. And that's another. And anyways, the plate, I'm guessing, is going to be a little bit different than the cinder block, because the good thing about a cinder block is it has different layers, and that's what makes it so it works better or easier. But that's why I was saying, isn't there supposed to be a cloth in between the bowling ball, the plate, and your body, right? Yeah, I know.
Otherwise,
I know.
You end up with this scar.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No.
Oh shit.
Sure, if you want to show.
Still there? Yeah. Okay.
It froze. But yeah. That scar. Yeah.
This.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Here's how I got it. When you lie down, you lie down on the bed of nails. You put a napkin or something. Like, I use a dinner napkin because it's cute. It's a plate. It's a dinner napkin. Ha ha.
Yeah.
So, so I put the dinner napkin down too, because it's kind of thick, and I like that because the plate sometimes will shatter a little bit. You put the plate down, and all of the force travels through the plate and it breaks. So here's the thing. Once I forgot the napkin, and that's how I got this scar.
Oh, God
Once
damn it. Yeah.
I used China. This was the best part. I used China on a gig with an assistant who was an EMT. That is the most miserable hit I have ever taken.
So when you say China, you're talking about like actual Japanese, like instead of it being a ceramic or okay. I
didn't know.
Okay. I know. I get you. No, we all fucked up. I have so many scars. I almost killed myself multiple times doing a lot of these things.
A lot of dumb shit.
I didn't know the boundaries. And that's the whole reason why I have fun with like people that like are flat earthers and other people. When I'm like, I don't die because of physics, gravity in the equation of this,
I don't
and
die
other
because
things, and
physics.
pounds per because of
Yeah.
pounds per square inch, and blah blah blah. The only way that us sideshow artists are, give me a second, brainless. The only way for us sideshow artists to live is because of these things, and I've already stepped out the boundaries of it, and I don't even know why I'm still here. Go ahead, brainless.
Yeah. So it was not ceramic, but porcelain that you were using.
Yeah, and which breaks
Much
fraction
much
easier.
softer. Yeah.
It's totally
Doesn't
just
absorb
gonna
as
just
much.
yeah, of course. No,
And
it's
like,
just gonna shatter.
Yeah, basically all the things you do is like looking at what is the edge of the physics that you can
Attain because of the parameters
in a safe
right?
way. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so,
So
it
once again,
looks
when you
like
step
very
outside,
intense, but like it's just on the edge that it's not that intense on your
yeah,
body.
and then
Yeah.
also the other thing, really quick, is sideshow working person acts are all based on your eyes and your brain. Oh, sorry, your eyes and your ears tricking your senses into believing that your brain believes that can never happen. But because we use the physics exactly, and because like when you're working your snake while you're dancing, most people's brains are like, oh my god, they're so dangerous, there's a snake, like, oh my god, they couldn't do it. That's what we do with these things. We're creating a fake illusion inside your brain, which is reality, by using science, maths, and physics to do this.
Well, the thing with the snakes mainly is like every human has evolved to be afraid of snakes.
So
Like
that's
that's in our lizard brain, in our monkey brain.
Yeah.
The factoid that I like to give to people, and I got this thank you internship for interlibrary loan at CSU Pueblo. I'm photocopying other people's like doctoral thesis articles.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I learned there was that we are, according to this study I read, we're born with an innate fear, everyone everywhere, humans across the board. And what I liked about this study was that they had reproduced it in several countries with many children of many ages.
Yeah.
So infants under the age of 9 months, no words, for the most part, somewhat immobile. So infants are all afraid of things like spiders, rodents, and snakes.
Yeah.
Okay. Why would that be? It's going to get you. All right. That makes sense.
It makes sense.
So, as an example, we are born with a certain level of innate fear, if you will. So, each person that, so like me, I was kind of afraid of, like, I would, on a scale of 1 to 10, I was like, 1 being not afraid, 10 being super afraid. I was like 2 or 3 afraid of mice. Little skittery, but fuzzy. I was 10, 11, 12, fuck you, spiders. Yeah. And snakes, like a very normal kind of like 4 or 5 middling fear of snakes. Life experience will change your base fears.
Yes, exactly.
If you start out at a 9-10 afraid of spiders and you have many negative experiences, you will sooner or later develop a phobia. There's a difference between a fear and a phobia.
And
fear is controllable. A phobia is not.
And also there are local, like your parents telling you certain things to get you phobic for sure. That's what you're saying. I just wanted to really quick point that out, which is part of the whole phobia thing. Is,
like especially with little kids, if mom goes hysterical when there's a itty bitty spider in the room, the kid will grow up being afraid of spiders.
Yeah, or that she or they tell you
bugs and all sorts of concern. But you know, we have snakes here in the UK. We have a green adder and a black adder.
No, you don't. It's not big enough to have. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
no,
kidding. Yes.
no, it's
so
not.
There
big
are.
enough
There are.
to
I
have.
know.
Well,
I know. I'm just kidding.
You have snakes that can kill you. We don't. We have snakes that is basically a bee sting when you're bitten by them.
You just smack it on the face when it bites you. You're like, get off me, god damn it. You know?
Well, I went to the doctor.
You have the equivalent of like
snake. This was at least 3 foot long. You know, that's big in the UK.
Yeah,
you sound like a flat earther now. There's no way they're that long over there.
Take an
Anyways, I'm just
antihistamine,
kidding.
you'll be fine.
Yeah. Anyways, let's track on. Keep going, Kat.
I forgot where I was. Oh, the okay. So you are afraid of this, that, and the other thing. Okay,
yeah,
so I was
so then
spiders, kind of afraid of mice and rats and that kind of thing. Not so much because fuzzy. And then just kind of middling afraid of snakes, mostly because mom says be afraid of that, and also naive. So naivety, as a scientific term, literally means you do not know, and therefore you don't react.
Sure.
So it's important because at this point in my life, experiences are such that like I'm not really afraid of spiders. I've kind of worked on that, like, because I rather like them. My husband really likes insects, so I've tried much harder to not scream and be a girl about it. For the love of God, do not kill the spider. In fact, the spider is pretty harmless. In fact, you kind of like the spider. Oh, I kind of like the spider.
Yeah, I'm just like, just don't get on me and we're okay. Once you get on me, then we have a little bit of a problem. But if you're around me, cool.
I'm about like I can touch them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So,
well, especially larger ones like tarantulas. I love holding and
I got
petting.
a great one about the tarantula, and I'll come back to that.
Yeah, I love large spiders, but keep cracking on.
We just brought some home. So the snake, so how we got here long term was I think I can blame my father's sister for this, because when I was a little kid, she hands me a tiny bull snake, or she has it in her hand, in the palm of her hand, and it's so small it just fits in her palm, and it's no bigger around probably than my pinky now. And she says, "Do you want to pet it?" And I went, "Yeah." And I don't know where she got it, but these were the kind of people they were, and runs in a family. So I reach out to pet this snake, and I don't know any different, and I'm just using one finger, and I want to pet it on top of the head, and it is terrified, and it bites me.
Yeah.
It just reaches out and goes, "Ow," and holds on to the end of my finger. And the snake and I look at each other. I remember its little eyeballs, and it lets go and spits me out. And then I realized that it was afraid of me.
Yeah, totally.
And that was pretty much it.
That's how you need to realize that. Yeah.
The other thing was that at that time,
the scorpion. It's like the scorpion. The scorpion. The smaller the scorpion, the worse they are. If they
want to. Yeah.
I didn't realize until
I'm like you in America. You got the black wizards, haven't you? You got the black wizards.
Oh yeah.
Redbacks or wherever. Australia, anything there, even bunny rabbits,
everything.
They'll kill you. They're venomous. They will just kill you.
Did I tell you I was bitten by a camel cricket?
No, well, let's go ahead and.
What's a camel cricket?
Okay, camel crickets are like that big. One of them crawls through the house, tries to eat me. I wake up in the night. I can't find anything. Something bit me in my sleep. There's a chunk the size of like the wheat on the back of a dime missing out of my finger the next day. They crawl through the house. They just get you. It's like Australia.
Yeah, it's
you
crazy.
Didn't die though, did you? We're in Australia. If anything bites you in Australia, you're gonna die. There's an octopus called the blue ring octopus. It's literally smaller than a tennis ball. If that bites, if that even inks in the water, you will not make it back to shore, snorkel or not. That will just end you forever.
Yes. All right. So, hey
Totally
D, everybody say hello to D.
Hey, D.
And what was like
Hey,
the
D.
next project that you worked on, or what was the next extreme thing that you learned or that you want to talk about?
The next extreme thing. Okay, the one of the other hallmarks of my show is the axe, and I ended up
The
with the axe.
the balancing of
Yeah,
the axe. Yes.
yeah, and what I love about it is that I'm still working on it. The ultimate goal with that piece is I would like to do more. I want to fall further into the history of parts of belly dance. So there's a whole tradition about how and why and when you dance with a cane. And also, there are masculine traditions and feminine traditions because the way that you use the cane and why is different. What you are using it for is different. Okay. So I have a lot of like language barrier hurdles with that.
Yeah.
One of the best resources that I found so far is a guy that I've followed on Instagram who specializes in Saidi, and he speaks Spanish. But I live in a place where I'm at a disadvantage already that I don't speak Spanish, so I should. So I want to do that next. But I ended up with the axe instead of a sword because I could not afford a sword.
How balanced is that axe, though? That's the problem. So what you may need to do is get a ring at the base of it to balance it out with another. We'll talk about that later. We'll figure that out later. Because when I saw that, I was like, I don't. Anyways, we'll talk about balancing. I know you know about the balancing, and nobody else here understands what we're talking about right this millisecond. But you know what's funny is I found a video about the cane usage in belly dancing in a video. So go ahead and keep just talking about that the rest of this story, or getting into that version of belly dancing and understanding the history of it.
So
and I'll be right back.
Word. I thought, okay, I want to be able to wield this thing, and one of my favorite parts watching cane dancers is that they can swing it the same way that lots of circus people that I know and lots of like boffers and stage fighters, and I know a bunch of guys who do HEMA and fight with live steel. They can spin it entirely around their body without ever letting go of the hilt, and I can't. And so I need one of them to give me like, this is how you do that.
Yeah.
Come on, guys, you heard it here first. Help me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know a little bit about the balancing stuff and things, but we'll talk about that later. So, yeah, and then
balancing an axe, that does sound like complicated if it is a regular axe.
It needs to be balanced properly, but we'll talk about that behind
Especially
closed
got a
doors.
snake on your neck.
And I know some places to get some swords to balance as well. So we'll talk about balancing stuff behind closed doors. But let's, if you don't mind, would you like to watch something about the history of belly dancing? And then you let us know if you agree with this and or fill in a little bit more information, and then we'll do a tiny bit of India snake charming, just the basics of the original of the stuffs, not where it became a part of dancing, but just some of the history of it. And it could have started in multiple places, like maybe Mesopotamia first, but the first recorded the first report.
Be in mind that most of the world think that a snake lives in a basket and people play a flute and go do 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 do.
But that's why we're gonna go over something we're gonna go over in a second. Because we're gonna go over like maybe there was another reason to do snake charming and or to play an instrument to get animals maybe out of certain places. Let's put it that way. And I'm not going to give it away until we get there, but let's crack on with this.
Ever wondered what belly dancing is? What are its origins, its history, and the cultural significance it holds? Well, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a rhythmic journey exploring the mesmerizing world of belly dancing. Belly dancing, also known as raqs sharki in Arabic, is a form of expressive dance that originates.
There's the cane dance that you were talking about, right, Kat? And it's in other ways, but that's what you were talking about, correct?
Right.
Yeah. Right. And then because the cane is directed in that direction, it means a certain thing and other things. And
I'm not really sure. And that's what I mean. Like, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
About I do know that like the women's dance for the Saidi is more of a, like, I'm walking to and from somewhere. She'll probably do it. Yeah.
So that's all they showed for that.
Oh, that's all they showed of her. So typically, I'll find it and send it to you. But there's one because she takes it off her body, and that's when it clips out. And what she does next is actually the part that I want you to see. Because she takes it and taps it a series of times, and I do know that there's like a traditional story that goes with it, in the same way that like the machete in folklorico dance is all about two men either going to war together or against one another. Okay, so her tapping of the cane, I've seen a few pieces that were supposed to be like two girls walking to the village and they want to give a message to a man, but they're not allowed to talk to him.
Okay, so they're tapping it to give him a message.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I say, I don't know.
Yeah, so let's crack on just to get more into the vague history we're getting into.
It's an art form that has fascinated and enchanted audiences for centuries. But where did it all begin? Historically, belly dancing traces its roots back to ancient civilizations in the Middle East, North Africa, and the Mediterranean.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. It was multicultural. It wasn't just... Go ahead.
This style of dance, one of the other things that people don't understand is that because you see the women dance like this in a costume is one thing, but like when families get together and dance at weddings or whatever else, the movements that she makes are the movements that everybody makes. In the same way that like you've seen people do ballroom dancing, those are ballroom dancers.
Yeah.
But like you can two-step if your mom taught you. If you're an American, most Americans can kind of two-step. That's a cultural dance.
That's all it is, yes.
Okay, so let's crack on.
It was a dance form used in various community celebrations, family gatherings, and fertility rituals. Despite the name, belly dancing incorporates movements from all parts of the body, but the focus is on the hips and the belly, hence the name. In the 19th century, belly dancing took a significant turn. It was during the era of Romanticism, where Orientalism was a prominent trend in European arts. Orientalism led to a fascination with Eastern cultures, and belly dancing was no exception. It was introduced to the West during the Chicago World's Fair in 1893, where a dancer known as Little Egypt performed, captivating audiences and sparking a lasting interest in this
that's amazing.
Exotic
That's
dance
not
form.
a belly dance.
Since then,
well, I mean, they claim they were saying it was, and
exotic dance form.
But
since then, belly dancing has spread across the globe,
why Little
evolving
Egypt was
and
such a
adapting to
scandal?
incorporate.
She didn't wear a corset.
Oh my
It was
god, no.
1890. Yeah.
And she showed her ankles. Anyways, I'm just kidding.
Elements from different cultures. Today, we see various styles of belly dance, each with its unique twist, from the traditional Raks Shaki to the fusion styles like tribal fusion belly dance. This art form continues to enchant and inspire. Often misunderstood as merely a dance to entertain, belly dancing holds a much deeper cultural significance. It is an expression of femininity, a celebration of the female form, and in many cultures it is closely tied to rites of passage and fertility rituals. It is an ancient form of expression that transcends language and cultural barriers. Belly dancing has also become a popular form of exercise due to its focus on...
Okay, let's just see. All right.
Kills
I mean, is there anything else you... Go ahead, add in whatever you'd like.
When I got into this style of dance, I knew a lot of women who were like, it's a fertility
My own
ritual.
adopted.
Well, we haven't found a lot of evidence about what kind of ritual that would be. The most evidence that anybody really has is that, like he said earlier in the video, it's a cultural dance. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
So I think that a little too much emphasis, like in the 90s and into the early 2000s when I started dancing, I think there was too much emphasis on the woo-woo aspect of it. And what I like about, what I do like about the movement not to appropriate other cultures is that it has forced me and everybody else to go, oh, I'm learning this style. This is my teacher. This is where it came from. This is the technique associated. This is why I do it. And these are the rules that I know. And then I can break them.
Yeah.
You got to know it before you can break it well.
Can I ask you a question, Kat?
What's that?
If you, when you looking, I don't know what a snake habitat is in your life. Terrarium, maybe? I don't know what they call them.
Yeah, you would call it a terrarium.
If you stick your hand in there, do you have one particular snake that just dies on you and says, hey, I'm your snake? Does that happen?
Yeah. People think okay, so I have two stories there. One, Zool is so food motivated that if
Zool is in the fridge.
Is that the one that I met?
Yes.
Zool has a gatekeeper.
That's what I thought.
And a keymaster.
Yeah.
So that's
thank
the
you.
one that I've taken photos with.
Anymore. That's how I know I'm old. It's you know what? I'm gonna rephrase that. That's how I know I'm a cougar now.
Go.
So, Zool is so food motivated. That's the boa. She's 6.5 feet long.
Yeah.
If I bring the rats into the house, even frozen, if I bring the rats into the house, she knows it. She can smell them. Like just me picking up the bag, coming home from the pet store and dropping the bag in the kitchen to thaw, she knows they're there. I cannot at that point, if I have touched the bag, I cannot be the one to open the container and fuck around with anything in there. If I have to open the container and do anything, it needs to be before I bring the stuff home. If I have broken that rule and I need to reach in there and get her after I bring the rats home when she's already keyed up, or if she's hungry and I haven't fed her in a while and she's keyed up, I have to slather myself in like pretty much all exposed skin. Like I do my neck now too. I cover myself in hand sanitizer because the alcohol, fun fact, you ever get snake bit and you want them to let go and they don't want to,
you
hand
put alcohol. Okay, sure. Yeah, that's the easy. Yeah, totally the easiest. And but it's rubbing alcohol totally hand sanitizer.
It stings. Yes, it hurts.
They hate this, and it makes it so they can't breathe for a hot second.
For a hot second.
Yeah,
but it doesn't ultimately harm them.
No, exactly.
So that's what I like about it. But
if you ever get bit by alligator or anything like that, just
give him a drink.
You should go gator wrestling.
For all the MAGA morons,
if you have
this show, that snakes are fucking sentient.
And if you have a pint of vodka, slather that in the same difference. It's all the same, right? The hand sanitizer,
don't,
vodka.
don't waste your vodka.
Later, Carol, thank you very much for being here. It was awesome. Hopefully you subscribe because that helps with the algorithms and stuff. But thank you for being here.
Your mom is
come
your
back.
mom. That's to say, mom. Your
scare
mom
you away. Right. So, anyways, crack on.
I just want to say that was really cool finding out about Kat's journey to get to where she's at.
Yes.
I've listened to most of it.
That's why we're doing this.
I've got a trillion questions, but you know me, I just talk my mouth off.
Okay, so anyways,
and I hope Kat comes back again as a guest. Yes. I really do.
Anyway, Kat, explain more about your other.
Really, to better answer Dog's question, like, do they know you? Really, is that what
they know me? I'm a fuckwit.
Yeah.
No, but the snakes.
I am an
sit.
fuckwit.
Sit. Go ahead, Kat. Do the snakes know you?
Okay, yeah, but like a lot of people ask me, does it know you? Oops. Okay. They'll ask me, does it know you? Does it form a relationship with you? Yeah. Each one is individual. In the same way that the cat or the dog is an individual, they will form a relationship with me. So when I gave Nog away, I got Nog when I was 18, and I gave Nog away when I was 21. And I gave Nog to my husband's friend's wife at the time. We're 21, okay? Fast forward, so we moved to Missoula, we moved back. That dude, the friend, gets a divorce and gets a new wife who is afraid of the snake.
Of course.
And 5 years later, I'm 26. I'd had Zool for 2 or 3 years. And that friend calls my husband and says, come get this snake, and hangs up.
Jesus.
And so we drive from the valley. No, I drive from Salida to Pueblo, so 2 hours. And I go to this house and we go inside, and the wife is so afraid of the snake that she has forced the husband to put the snake in the closet. And so I go into the bedroom where they tell me the snake's in that room. And I go, okay. And like nobody comes with me. And I go into that room and I go, where is it? And they go, oh, it's in the closet. So I open the fucking closet, and the snake is so surprised by the light and the noise that she starts to strike the glass of the container. Wow. And literally the wife screams and grabs the baby and runs. And the older 2 sons, who were like 8 and 9 at the time, I throw them out of the, I was like, go on. I gotta fuck with the snake, go on. And so I didn't realize that the 2 boys were watching me when I opened the top of the container. I thought everyone was gone, and I start talking to Nog. And when mine was the only voice that she could hear, her whole body language changed. And she went from aggressive, fearful self-defense to, mommy, take me the fuck home. Like I still kind of like, she crawled up out of that tank into my arms and wrapped herself around my neck and would not let go. And so we go out to the porch and we sit down and we hang out for a little while. And like I let the children touch her and everything, and they were like, that's a totally different snake. And I was like, no, you're just a dumbass.
But that's with every animal. Like I've talked to people that say, "Oh, we've got such a bad dog." No, you're a bad dog owner.
Yeah.
Why'd you bring me up into this?
There's a lot of animals that's happened to me because really quick, I'm gonna say this. I was trained by the Humane Society to help animals that were in distress, that were babies and or other things like owls that got hit by a car or broke a wing or other things. And I helped rehabilitate these animals. And I learned there's a lot of ways to make the animal comfortable with you, even if they don't know you, so they understand that you're not going to, and so it's hilarious. I meet all these people that are like, oh, my dog, my this, my that is not going to like you. And in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they're like, that
My
animal
dog
is
never
never
likes
like
anybody.
Yeah, no, they're always like that. They're
I've
like
got a
that
cool
animal.
example of that.
Go ahead, right quick, Brainless.
Like when I met my ex-wife, that year she was doing volunteer work at an animal shelter. And I tag along, like walking the dogs and stuff like that. And like there was one dog, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that dog doesn't like men." I was like, "Yeah, give me 5 seconds," and I was just calm, and like the dog was just okay with me. Like it took a little bit, but like it was like, yeah, just show the dog who you are. If you show the dog I'm not a scary person, then the dog will not be scared of you.
Yeah,
Like,
and
of course, there's exceptions. There's exceptions with dogs with mental issues. Like,
Well, and it's all about the way that you show dominance in the right level at the right time to get them to be used to you.
I gotta say, I'd rather deal with a angry dog than with a scared dog.
Yeah, well, dude, I've gotten bit so many times by so many animals. I've gotten bit by
but if
reptile, all of this.
if you got a
cats, I've been bitten by everything.
No, but if you got an aggressive dog, like you can
downplay, you can de-escalate.
you can out dominate them. You know,
Yeah,
but like with a scared dog, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
So, but
all
we've
right.
seen it in many films, and we've known it ourselves. You can befriend any animal, and they will love you if you treat them correctly.
Oh, the guy that met the lion after a while again.
And whether it be a snake, according to cat, or a mouse, or an ant, or whatever, any animal can be treated.
Depends.
Yeah,
like,
I love dominating that goddamn ant. Getting that ant. Never. I'm just kidding. I love that you.
But nobody cares about the ant.
I know, but I love that you brought that up as the goddamn motherfucker. So, anyways, what we're gonna do is we're gonna crack on. It's been an hour. And
I reckon
40
I could
minutes.
train an ant.
We've been doing this for a hot minute. I know you said we were going to talk about snake charmers, but maybe we'll have Kat back on to talk about
I got
snake
one more
charming.
question for Kat. Like,
please go ahead, right quick.
How old can those snakes get? How old do they get?
The ones that I have now. So the ball python, she's been growing. That's the thing. Like, she had such a shitty life in between that. And her food wasn't consistent enough that, like, I really questioned whether or not she would ever reach full size. And no, I agree. They want the snake and they don't know enough about taking care of it, or they lose interest.
Yeah.
And that's worse.
Yeah.
Because consistency is key. Like, if you don't want it anymore and you don't want to be consistent, that thing is going to live 40 years.
Yeah.
Give it to someone else.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because otherwise they live a really crappy 10 years and die. But the one that I have, so the Bolly finally started growing. I'm really excited about it. She's like 3.5 feet long now. But they don't get very large. The PetSmart factoid sheet back in the day said they reached between 3 and 6 feet. And she's a little more than 3 feet, and she's a good size. And okay, great. I don't really care if they never reach their full size, because when we're interacting with the public, she's a good size for
yeah.
an example snake. Like she's the same size
Hmm.
as people would walk up on in the wild here.
Yeah.
She's not the same snake,
And
but
it's
she's
not scurry.
and it's not as scary. It's a lot
Yeah.
easier to get
I
people
need
to
to go back to an
those are very
earlier
beautiful.
comment you made about pet shops, and I don't like that. You hear them. I'm the last whatever in the shop, whatever animal in the shop, and I've known this in my local shop. They'll have one hamster left, and they'll just pile in a whole new hamsters, and they will kill that one hamster.
that's left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get
there's no
that.
law.
I think that's quite cruel.
Well, they don't
Yeah.
care. They just see
but
it
my
as
local pet
money.
shop
Anyways.
has a 300-year-old tail. I still
Well,
want
Oh, that's cool.
At least they have that.
an hour. But I find that pet shops are quite cruel.
Yes.
I'm not
Yeah.
a big,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
with that said, like I really like a lot of the smaller shops that I see in my local communities because it's usually just a couple of people with a couple of fish.
If it's a family,
That's
it's
still
family run.
captivation,
That's different.
It's still
not-
captivation of an animal that needs to live.
Until,
It's not like it was
until,
in that.
until they get caught shoving cocaine up a turtle's arses. And,
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyways,
The extreme there, dude.
is there anything else you want to say before we get the fuck out of here? Like how to find us, how to find you on the Instagrams?
Oh yeah. Okay. So if folks want to follow my cute little community dance troupe in the valley, I know what kind of day and age I'm living in. It's a Facebook page. We're the Novel Nomads from the San Luis Valley in Colorado. If you want to follow just me on Instagram, I am Clapp, one word, KATCLAPP. No, that is not a stage name. Dog asked me earlier. While that is not my legal name, I swear to God, that is my name.
Your name, yes.
As an aside, Clapp was also Johnny Knoxville's last name before he changed it. I think that's funny. So,
Okay.
yeah, Clapp _ Novel Nomad on Instagram. You can search for the hashtag 2 Novel Nomads. That usually works.
Or
but
click the link in the side chat.
And that's why my co-host is here, is because he does those things for me. So now it is on the side of my chat. So everybody go to the side of my chats and click that link and go to the Instagrams, because most of us have a thing. But yes, that's why I have my co-host. That's why our brainless is here, because he does those lovely things for us. So
I would like to say that this new format of introducing your friendly carnies, Kat just did it. You are awesome. I love you.
Yes, well, thank you very much. Yes, thank you for being our first.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I believe this is going to be a fun thing that we're going to be doing in the near future.
Absolutely.
Anytime you want to come back,
Yeah.
just let us know and we'll have you back. And remember, October 26th, we will be at Breckenridge Brewery in Fort Collins doing a full side show from 7:30 to 10 p.m. in Fort Collins. So if you're in the area, please show us some love and please come down. And it's a free show.
Yeah, I was
The one
gonna go
time
for a
it
bike ride. I was gonna ride my bicycle that day, so I might be in the area.
Maybe, yeah, from the Netherlands. Maybe the Netherlands is gonna.
That's quite a ride there, Brainless.
Yes.
Hopefully on the 5th of November, I will be hosting Commander 501. We may be on, well, I don't know how it's going to work. They may be on their phone, I may be on the computer, or I may be on my phone, they may be on my computer.
Okay,
They are going to be in my midst, or, well, a week anyway. It'd be cool.
Okay, well, yes, we'll figure that out, and we'll get all that situated, and we'll talk about that later. Thank you very much, Kat, for being here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
all
really
of our
It's a cool time.
panel
Plenty with some cool
and
stuff.
all of our Sidema chats. Thank you very much. Remember
fuck the
to
side chat.
please
Thank you,
like,
guys.
subscribe, and hit the
You
bell
have to admit, I kept
notifications.
quiet for most of it.
Thank
good.
you
Yeah,
very
you
much
did a
for
good
being
job.
quiet. You
I
did
was
a
a
good
good
job.
boy.
So thank
Yeah,
you.
good boy.
All right, thank you very much. So we're gonna end the stream. So this is how we do it. So everybody say bye.
Hi everyone.
Later, and then
Bye.
bye.
Thanks to everyone.